Hello, English learners. Welcome back to Daily English Talks. I'm Mia, and today I'm here to guide you through another long, slow, and powerful English practice session. This lesson is called Boost Your English Every Morning. Train your ears with real stories. B1 English Listening Practice. Together, we are going to spend time listening, repeating, and practicing with real-life stories and situations. I want you to relax, focus on my voice, and let the rhythm of English become part of your daily routine. Think of this practice like your morning coffee or tea. It's something that wakes you up, gets your brain ready, and sets the tone for your whole day. When you train your ears every morning with English, you give yourself a powerful advantage. You don't just learn words, you prepare your brain to understand, to respond, and to feel comfortable with English in daily life. So, let's begin with a very simple warm-up story. Listen carefully and imagine the scene as I tell it to you. This morning, I woke up early. The sun was just rising, and the sky outside my window was a soft orange color. I got out of bed slowly, stretched my arms, and took a deep breath. I walked to the kitchen, put on the kettle, and made myself a hot cup of tea. As I sat at the table, I opened my notebook and wrote a few sentences about what I wanted to do today. It felt calm and peaceful. Now, let's repeat some of these sentences together slowly. I woke up early this morning. I stretched my arms and took a deep breath. I made a hot cup of tea. I wrote a few sentences in my notebook. Say each one after me, slowly, clearly. Let your mouth feel the rhythm of the words. This is how you train your speaking muscles while also training your ears. Now let's turn this into a practice conversation. Imagine you meet a friend and you want to tell them about your morning. Friend: Good morning. How are you today? You: Good morning. I woke up early today. I had some tea and I wrote in my notebook. Friend: That sounds nice. Do you feel ready for the day? You: Yes, I do. I feel calm and ready. Practice saying this conversation with me. I will read both parts first, then I'll pause for you to try speaking your part aloud. Ready? Let's begin. Good morning. How are you today? Good morning. I woke up early today. I had some tea and I wrote in my notebook. That sounds nice. Do you feel ready for the day? Yes, I do. I feel calm and ready. Wonderful. If you repeat this type of conversation again and again, it becomes natural. You'll notice that your confidence grows each time. Now, let's train your listening a little more deeply with another short story from daily life. Yesterday afternoon, I went to the market near my house. It was busy with people buying fruits, vegetables, and bread. I walked slowly through the stalls, listening to the voices around me. One woman was asking about the price of apples. A man was choosing fresh bread for his family. I stopped at one stall and bought some bananas, some tomatoes, and a loaf of bread. When I came home, I made a simple sandwich and ate it while listening to music. Let's pick out some useful sentences for practice. I went to the market near my house. It was busy with people buying fruits and vegetables. I bought some bananas and tomatoes. I made a sandwich when I came home. Repeat them slowly with me. Good. Now try to use these sentences in your own example. For example, you could say, I went to the store near my house. I bought some milk and bread. I made tea when I came home. This type of practice connects English to your daily routine. You don't just listen passively, you use the sentences, you adapt them, and they become part of your speaking. Let's do another dialogue together, this time at the market. Shopkeeper. Hello, what would you like today? You. Hello, I'd like some bananas and a loaf of bread, please. Shopkeeper. Of course. Anything else? You. Yes, some tomatoes, please. Shopkeeper. Here you go. That will be $3. You. Thank you very much. Practice this with me. First, listen as I read it naturally. Then repeat your part aloud after me. Hello. What would you like today? Hello. I'd like some bananas and a loaf of bread, please. Of course. Anything else? Yes, some tomatoes, please. Here you go. That will be $3. Thank you very much. This type of practice helps you imagine yourself in real situations. You can hear the flow, the rhythm, and the natural politeness in English conversations. Now, let's do a listening exercise. I will read a short story twice, once slowly and once a little faster. Your job is to listen carefully and try to understand the details. Afterward, I'll ask you a few simple questions and you can answer aloud. Story. Last Sunday, I visited my friend Anna. She lives in a small apartment in the city. When I arrived, she was cooking pasta in the kitchen. The smell was delicious. We sat down together, ate pasta, and talked about our week. After lunch, we went for a walk in the park. The weather was sunny and many families were outside enjoying the day. Now, here are some questions. Try to answer them aloud. Who did I visit last Sunday? What was Anna doing when I arrived? What did we eat together? Where did we go after lunch? What was the weather like? Take a moment to answer. If you answered, you visited Anna. She was cooking pasta. You ate pasta together. You went to the park. The weather was sunny. Then you understood perfectly. Great work. This type of listening practice with questions trains your ears to catch details and trains your brain to respond quickly in English. Now, let's make this story into a practice conversation. You. What did you do last Sunday? Me. I visited my friend Anna. She was cooking pasta when I arrived. You. That sounds nice. Did you eat together? Me. Yes, we ate pasta and then went for a walk in the park. You. How was the weather? Me. It was sunny and beautiful. Practice saying your part aloud. This makes English more natural and prepares you for real conversations with friends. Remember, every time you listen to a story, repeat sentences, answer questions, and practice conversations, you are building your English muscles. It's just like going to the gym, but for your language. Every morning is a new chance to practice English. Think of it like pressing a restart button. Yesterday might have been difficult. Maybe you forgot some words or struggled to understand a sentence. But today is fresh, today is open, and today is yours. Every day you spend listening, repeating, and practicing, you move one step closer to fluency. Let's begin today's practice with a gentle morning routine story. Imagine this scene. I wake up at 7 a.m. The alarm rings, and at first I don't want to get out of bed. I lie there for a moment, listening to the quiet sounds of the street outside. Finally, I sit up, open the window, and feel the cool morning air on my face. I brush my teeth, wash my face, and drink a glass of water. Then I put on some light music while I prepare breakfast. Now, let's practice repeating some sentences from this story. My alarm rings at 7 a.m. I open the window and feel the cool morning air. I brush my teeth and wash my face. I drink a glass of water before breakfast. Repeat after me slowly. Good. Now, try to make your own versions. For example, you could say, my alarm rings at 6 a.m. I open the window and see the sunrise. I brush my teeth and take a shower. I drink coffee before breakfast. By making these small changes, you connect English to your own real life. This is how English becomes natural for you, not just memorized sentences. Let's imagine a short dialogue about morning routines. Friend, what time do you wake up in the morning? You, I usually wake up at 7 a.m. Friend, what do you do first after waking up? You, I brush my teeth and drink a glass of water. Friend, do you eat breakfast every day? You, yes, I do. I usually eat some bread and fruit. Practice this dialogue with me. Listen first, then repeat your part aloud. What time do you wake up in the morning? I usually wake up at 7 a.m. What do you do first after waking up? I brush my teeth and drink a glass of water. Do you eat breakfast every day? Yes, I do. I usually eat some bread and fruit. Wonderful. Now, let's move on to a new listening story to train your ears. Story. Last Monday, I had to take the bus to work because my bike had a flat tire. The bus was crowded with many people, and I had to stand near the door. On the way, I listened to some English audio lessons with my headphones. It took about 30 minutes to arrive at the office. When I got off the bus, I felt happy because I had practiced English listening during my commute. Now, let's answer some questions together. Why did I take the bus to work? What did I do on the bus? How long did the bus ride take? How did I feel after the ride? Take a moment to answer aloud. The N, swears are. Because my bike had a flat tire, I listened to English audio lessons. It took about 30 minutes. I felt happy because I practiced English listening. Did you get them right? Excellent. Even if you missed one, that's okay. Every mistake is a step forward because it means your ears are learning to catch more details. Now let's build a conversation from this story. Colleague, how did you come to work today? You. I took the bus because my bike had a flat tire. Colleague, was the bus crowded? You. Yes, it was very crowded, and I had to stand. Colleague, what did you do on the bus? You. I listened to some English audio lessons with my headphones. Practice saying this aloud. This is exactly the type of small talk you might have with a colleague, and by practicing now, you'll be ready when it happens in real life. Let's do another repetition exercise, but this time with variations. I will say a sentence, then I will give you a variation. Your task is to repeat both. I took the bus this morning. I took the train this morning. I listened to music on the bus. I listened to English lessons on the bus. The ride took 30 minutes. The ride took 45 minutes. Excellent. These small variations give your brain flexibility. Instead of memorizing only one version, you can adjust your sentences depending on the situation. This is how you become more fluent. Now, let's shift to a short evening story for listening practice. Yesterday evening after work, I felt tired. I cooked some rice and vegetables for dinner and ate slowly while watching a short English video online. After dinner, I called my mother and talked with her for 15 minutes. Then I read a few pages of a book before going to bed. Here are some questions for you. What did I eat for dinner? What did I watch while eating? Who did I call after dinner? What did I do before going to bed? Answer aloud. The answers are rice and vegetables, a short English video, I called my mother, I read a few pages of a book. Perfect. Now repeat some useful sentences from this story. I cooked rice and vegetables for dinner. I watched a short English video. I called my mother after dinner. I read a few pages of a book before bed. Say them slowly. Good. Now try to change them with your own ideas. For example, I cooked pasta for dinner. I watched a movie. I called my friend after dinner. I read some news before bed. Let's imagine a dialogue about evening activities. Friend, what did you have for dinner yesterday? You, I had rice and vegetables. Friend, did you watch anything after dinner? You, yes, I watched a short English video. Friend, did you talk to anyone before bed? You, yes, I called my mother. Practice this conversation aloud. These are exactly the types of everyday topics you'll use with friends or family. Now, let's finish this part with a longer listening activity. I'll tell you a little weekend story, and then we'll practice questions and answers from it. Story. On Saturday morning, I woke up late because I wanted to rest. I made pancakes for breakfast and enjoyed them with some fresh fruit and honey. After breakfast, I cleaned the kitchen and did some laundry. In the afternoon, I met my friend David at a cafe. We drank coffee, ate cake, and talked about our week. Later, we walked around the city and looked at some shops. In the evening, I went home, watched a movie, and went to bed early. Questions. What did I eat for breakfast? What housework did I do? Who did I meet in the afternoon? Where did we go after the cafe? What did I do in the evening? Answer aloud. The answers are pancakes with fruit and honey. I cleaned the kitchen and did laundry. I met my friend David. We walked around the city and looked at shops. I went home, watched a movie, and went to bed early. Now let's build a natural conversation from this. Friend. How was your weekend? You. It was nice. On Saturday morning, I had pancakes with fruit and honey for breakfast. Friend. That sounds delicious. What did you do after breakfast? You. I cleaned the kitchen and did some laundry. Later, I met my friend David at a cafe. Friend. Did you have a good time with him? You. Yes, we drank coffee, ate cake, and then walked around the city. Friend. And how was your evening? You. I went home, watched a movie, and went to bed early. Practice this conversation with me. By repeating real-life dialogues, you are training yourself to speak naturally when similar questions come in real life. Learning English every morning is not only about words, it's about rhythm. It's about letting your ears get used to the sound, the melody, and the flow of the language. That's why I tell you real stories. Real stories help you imagine, feel, and practice English in a natural way. Let's begin this part with a short morning story from daily life. This morning, after breakfast, I went for a short walk in the park near my home. The air was fresh, and I could hear birds singing in the trees. I passed by a small cafe, and the smell of coffee came out through the open door. A few people were sitting outside, talking and laughing. I walked slowly, enjoying the sunshine and looking at the green grass. Now let's repeat some useful sentences from this story. I went for a short walk in the park. The air was fresh and the birds were singing. I passed by a cafe and smelled the coffee. People were sitting outside talking and laughing. Repeat them slowly after me. Good. Now let's make some variations together. You could say, I went for a walk near the river. The air was cool and the dogs were barking. I passed by a bakery and smelled the bread. People were shopping and walking around. This type of practice makes you flexible. You don't just copy, you create. That's fluency. Now let's imagine a dialogue from the park story. Friend, did you go outside this morning? You. Yes, I went for a walk in the park. Friend, how was the weather? You. It was fresh and sunny. Friend, did you see many people? You. Yes, some people were sitting outside a cafe, talking and laughing. Practice this dialogue with me. First, listen as I read it naturally, then repeat your part aloud. Did you go outside this morning? Yes, I went for a walk in the park. How was the weather? It was fresh and sunny. Did you see many people? Yes, some people were sitting outside a cafe, talking and laughing. Great work. Now, let's do a listening activity with a daily routine story. Story. Last Tuesday, I had an important meeting at work. I woke up early, dressed quickly, and left the house by 8 o'clock. I took the train because it was faster than the bus. On the train, I reviewed my notes for the meeting. When I arrived at the office, I went straight to the meeting room. The meeting lasted 2 hours, and after it ended, I felt relieved because everything went well. Now answer these questions aloud. What day did I have the meeting? What time did I leave the house? How did I travel to the office? What did I do on the train? How long did the meeting last? Take a moment to answer. The answers are: on Tuesday, at 8 o'clock, I took the train, I reviewed my notes, the meeting lasted 2 hours. Excellent. Let's make some useful practice sentences. I had an important meeting at work. I left the house by 8 o'clock. I took he train to the office. I reviewed my notes on the way. The meeting lasted 2 hours. Now change them to fit your own life. For example, I had an important class. I left the house at 7:30. I took the bus to school. I listened to music on the way. The class lasted 1 hour. This is how you take my story and turn it into your own practice. Let's imagine a small dialogue about the meeting story. Colleague, did you have a meeting yesterday? You, yes, I had an important meeting. Colleague, how did you come to the office? You, I took the train because it was faster. Colleague, did you prepare for the meeting? You, yes, I reviewed my notes on the train. Practice this aloud with me. By repeating, you're preparing for future real conversations. Now let's do another short daily life story for your listening practice. Yesterday afternoon, I decided to clean my apartment. First, I washed the dishes and wiped the kitchen counter. Then I vacuumed the floor and organized the books on my shelf. While I was cleaning, I listened to some slow English audio. Cleaning took about 1 hour, but after it was done, I felt proud and comfortable in my clean space. Questions. What did I do first when I cleaned? What did I do after vacuuming? What did I listen to while cleaning? How long did cleaning take? How did I feel after cleaning? Answer aloud. The answers are: I washed the dishes first. After vacuuming, I organized the books. I listened to slow English audio. Cleaning took about 1 hour. I felt proud and comfortable. Let's repeat some useful sentences from this story. I washed the dishes and wiped the counter. I vacuumed the floor and organized my books. I listened to English audio while cleaning. I felt proud after cleaning my home. Say them with me slowly. Now try to change them for your own life. For example, I washed my clothes and cleaned the windows. I listened to music while cleaning. I felt tired but happy after cleaning. Let's make a practice dialogue. Friend, what did you do yesterday afternoon? You. I cleaned my apartment. Friend, what did you clean first? You. I washed the dishes and wiped the counter. Friend, did you listen to anything while cleaning? You. Yes, I listened to English audio. Friend, how did you feel afterward? You. I felt proud and comfortable. Practice saying your part. Now, let's do a longer listening practice with more details. Story. On Sunday afternoon, I visited a small library in my neighborhood. I like going there because it's quiet and peaceful. When I arrived, I returned a book that I had finished reading. Then I looked for a new book to borrow. I walked slowly between the shelves, reading the titles on the spines. Finally, I chose a book about travel stories. I sat down in a chair by the window and read for about 30 minutes before leaving. Questions. Where did I go on Sunday afternoon? Why do I like going there? What did I do first when I arrived? What kind of book did I choose? Did I sit to read? Answer aloud. The answers are: I went to the library because it's quiet and peaceful. I returned a book first. I chose a travel stories book. I sat by the window. Good. Now let's build a natural conversation from this. Friend, what did you do on Sunday afternoon? You. I went to the library near my house. Friend, why do you like going there? You. Because it's quiet and peaceful. Friend, what book did you borrow? You. I borrowed a book about travel store. Geese. Friend, did you read there? You. Yes, I read by the window for about 30 minutes. Repeat this dialogue with me. Excellent practice. Now, let's do some sentence expansion practice. I will say a short sentence and then I will expand it with more details. You should repeat both versions. I went to the library. I went to the library on Sunday afternoon. I borrowed a book. I borrowed a book about travel stories. I read for 30 minutes. I read quietly by the window for 30 minutes. This exercise shows you how to grow small sentences into bigger ones. It makes your speaking sound more natural and detailed. To finish this part, let's do a shadowing exercise. I will read a paragraph slowly, then I'll pause for you to repeat it exactly as you hear it. Here is the paragraph. Yesterday evening, I cooked dinner at home. I made pasta with vegetables and tomato sauce. After dinner, I washed the dishes and cleaned the table. Then I sat on the sofa and listened to some English stories online. It was a simple evening, but it made me feel relaxed and happy. Now shadow with me. Ready? Yesterday evening, I cooked dinner at home. I made pasta with vegetables and tomato sauce. After dinner, I washed the dishes and cleaned the table. Then I sat on the sofa and listened to some English stories online. It was a simple evening, but it made me feel relaxed and happy. Beautiful. Keep practicing shadowing like this because it trains your ears and your tongue at the same time. Every time you listen and repeat, your English becomes more natural. It's like watering a small plant every day. Little by little, the plant grows, and one day it becomes strong and beautiful. Your English is the same. A little practice every morning makes a big difference over time. Let's begin with a new daily life story. This morning, I went to the bakery near my house. The smell of fresh bread filled the air as soon as I walked inside. There were many different kinds of bread on the shelves: baguettes, soft rolls, and sweet pastries. I chose a loaf of brown bread and a small chocolate croissant. The cashier smiled at me, and I paid with a few coins. On my way home, I took a small bite of the croissant. It was warm, sweet, and delicious. Now repeat these useful sentences with me. I went to the bakery near my house. The smell of fresh bread filled the air. I bought a loaf of brown bread and a chocolate croissant. The croissant was warm and delicious. Repeat slowly after me. Now make your own variations. For example, I went to the supermarket near my house. The smell of fresh fruit filled the air. I bought some apples and oranges. The apples were sweet and fresh. Good. Now let's make a short dialogue from this story. Shopkeeper. Good morning. What would you like today? You. Good morning. I'd like a loaf of brown bread, please. Shopkeeper. Would you like anything else? You. Yes, a small chocolate croissant. Shopkeeper. Here you are. That will be $2. You. Thank you very much. Practice your part aloud. These are real conversations you can use when you travel or shop. Now let's move on to a listening activity. Story. Last Friday, after work, I went to the cinema with my friend. We wanted to watch a new adventure movie. The cinema was crowded, but we found good seats in the middle row. Before the movie started, we bought some popcorn and drinks. The movie lasted about 2 hours, and we enjoyed it a lot. After the movie, we talked about our favorite scenes while walking home. Questions. Where did I go on Friday? What kind of movie did I watch? What did we buy before the movie started? How long did the movie last? What did we do after the movie? Answer aloud. The answers are: I went to the cinema, an adventure movie, we bought popcorn and drinks, about 2 hours, we talked about our favorite scenes. Now let's repeat some sentences together. I went to the cinema with my friend. We watched an adventure movie. We bought popcorn and drinks. The movie lasted about 2 hours. We talked about our favorite scenes after the movie. Say them with me. Now try to make your own versions. I went to the cinema with my sister. We watched a comedy movie. We bought nachos and juice. The movie lasted 1.5 hours. We laughed about the funny scenes after the movie. Let's make a dialogue from this story. Friend: did you go anywhere last Friday? You: yes, I went to the cinema with my friend. Friend: what movie did you watch? You: we watched a new adventure movie. Friend: did you buy snacks? You: yes, we bought popcorn and drinks. Friend: how was the movie? You: it was great. We talked about it afterward. Repeat your part. This is exactly how friends talk about movies in English. Now let's do a shadowing exercise with this story. I will read the paragraph again slowly, and you repeat it after me, exactly as you hear it. Last Friday, I went to the cinema with my friend. We watched a new adventure movie. The cinema was crowded, but we found good seats. We bought popcorn and drinks before the movie started. The movie lasted about 2 hours. After the movie, we talked about our favorite scenes. Wonderful. Now let's continue with another daily life story. Yesterday morning, I had to go to the post office. I needed to send a small package to my cousin in another city. When I arrived, there was a line of people waiting. I stood in the line and looked at my phone while I waited. After 10 minutes, it was my turn. I gave the package to the clerk, filled out a short form, and paid the postage fee. The clerk smiled and said, "Your package will arrive in 3 days. Questions: why did I go to the post office? What did I send? What did I do while waiting in line? How long did I wait? What did the clerk tell me?" Answer aloud. The answers are: to send a package, a small package. I looked at my phone. 10 minutes. The package will arrive in 3 days. Now repeat some useful sentences with me. I went to the post office yesterday morning. I needed to send a package. I waited in line for 10 minutes. I filled out a short form and paid the fee. The clerk said the package will arrive in 3 days. Say them slowly. Now create your own sentences. I went to the bank yesterday morning. I needed to deposit some money. I waited in line for 5 minutes. I filled out a form and signed my name. The clerk said everything was finished. Let's make a short dialogue from this story. Clerk: hello, how can I help you today? You: hello, I need to send this package to another city. Clerk: of course. Please fill out this form. You: here you go. How much is the postage fee? Clerk: it's $3. Your package will arrive in 3 days. You: Thank you very much. Practice your part aloud. Now, let's do a little expansion exercise. I will give you a simple sentence, then add more details. Repeat both versions after me. I sent a package. I sent a small package to my cousin in another city. I waited in line. I waited in line for 10 minutes at the post office. I paid the fee. I paid the postage fee, and the clerk gave me a receipt. See how adding details makes your speaking richer and more natural? Now let's finish this part with a longer weekend story. On Sunday morning, I woke up early and decided to go hiking in the hills near my town. I packed a small backpack with water, some fruit, and a sandwich. The weather was perfect, sunny but not too hot. I walked slowly up the hill, listening to the birds and enjoying the fresh air. After about an hour, I reached the top and sat down on a rock. From there, I could see the town below and the river shining in the distance. I ate my sandwich and drank some water while looking at the view. It was peaceful and beautiful. Questions. What did I decide to do on Sunday morning? What did I pack in my backpack? How was the weather? What did I see from the top of the hill? What did I eat and drink there? Answer aloud. The answers are: I went hiking, water, fruit, and a sandwich, sunny but not too hot. I saw the town and the river. I ate a sandwich and drank water. Now let's make a conversation from this story. Friend. What did you do on Sunday morning? You. I went hiking in the hills near my town. Friend. What did you take with you? You. I packed water, some fruit, and a sandwich. Friend. How was the weather? You. It was sunny but not too hot. Friend. What did you see from the top? You. I saw the town below and the river in the distance. Practice this dialogue aloud with me. Finally, let's shadow this story together. On Sunday morning, I went hiking in the hills. I packed a backpack with water, fruit, and a sandwich. The weather was sunny but not too hot. I walked slowly, enjoying the fresh air. From the top of the hill, I saw the town and the river. I ate my sandwich while looking at the view. Excellent. The more you connect English with daily life, the more comfortable you will feel when using it. Every simple action you take during the day can become part of your English practice. Whether you are drinking coffee, waiting for a bus, cooking dinner, or talking to a friend, you can always describe it in English to yourself. This habit of thinking in English is one of the strongest ways to train your ears and your mind. Let's begin this part with a short daily routine story. Yesterday morning, I decided to go jogging in the park. I put on my running shoes, tied the laces tightly, and stretched my legs before starting. The park was quiet, and I could hear the sound of my footsteps on the path. After 15 minutes, I stopped near a bench, drank some water, and rested for a while. Then I continued jogging until I felt tired but happy. Now let's repeat some sentences together. I decided to go jogging in the park. I tied my shoelaces tightly. I could hear the sound of my footsteps. I stopped near a bench to drink some water. I felt tired but happy after jogging. Repeat after me slowly. Now make your own versions. For example, I decided to go walking in the park. I wore comfortable shoes. I could hear birds singing in the trees. I stopped near a tree to take a photo. I felt relaxed and happy after walking. Let's turn this into a small conversation. Friend, did you exercise yesterday morning? You, yes, I went jogging in the park. Friend, how long did you jog? You, for about 15 minutes. Friend, did you take a break? You, yes, I stopped near a bench and drank some water. Friend, how did you feel afterward? You, I felt tired but happy. Practice this dialogue with me. First, listen, then repeat your part aloud. Now let's do another listening activity. Story. On Wednesday evening, I went to a small restaurant with 2 friends. The restaurant was cozy and not too crowded. We ordered some grilled chicken, rice, and vegetables. The food was delicious, and we talked for more than an hour while eating. At the end of the meal, we shared a chocolate cake for dessert. We left the restaurant feeling full and cheerful. Questions. When did I go to the restaurant? Who did I go with? What food did we order? How long did we talk while eating? What dessert did we share? Answer aloud. The answers are: on Wednesday evening, with 2 friends, grilled chicken, rice, and vegetables. For more than an hour, a chocolate cake. Now repeat these sentences after me. I went to a restaurant with 2 friends. We ordered grilled chicken, rice, and vegetables. We shared a chocolate cake for dessert. We left the restaurant feeling cheerful. Good. Now make your own sentences. I went to a cafe with my brother. We ordered sandwiches and juice. We shared a piece of apple pie. We left the cafe feeling happy. Let's build a dialogue from this story. Friend, did you go out on Wednesday evening? You, yes, I went to a small restaurant with 2 friends. Friend, what did you order? You, we ordered grilled chicken, rice, and vegetables. Friend, did you have dessert? You, yes, we shared a chocolate cake. Friend, how was the evening? You, it was cheerful and relaxing. Practice aloud with me. Now, let's do a shadowing exercise with the restaurant story. On Wednesday evening, I went to a restaurant with friends. We ordered grilled chicken, rice, and vegetables. The food was delicious and we talked for an hour. We shared a chocolate cake for dessert. We left the restaurant feeling cheerful. Great job! Let's move to another story from daily life. This morning, I had to catch an early train to visit a nearby city. I packed my bag the night before, so I was ready quickly. At the station, I bought a ticket and waited on the platform. The train arrived on time, and I found a seat by the window. During the ride, I listened to English stories on my phone and looked at the scenery outside. After 1 hour, I arrived in the city and felt excited to explore. Questions. Why did I take the train? What did I do at the station? Where did I sit on the train? What did I listen to during the ride? How did I feel when I arrived? Answer aloud. The answers are: to visit a nearby city. I bought a ticket and waited on the platform. By the window. English stories on my phone. I felt excited to explore. Now, let's repeat useful sentences together. I had to catch an early train. I bought a ticket at the station. I sat by the window on the train. I listened to English stories during the ride. I felt excited when I arrived in the city. Now create your own. I had to catch a bus. I bought a ticket at the counter. I sat near the driver. I listened to music during the ride. I felt relaxed when I arrived at the park. Dialogue practice. Friend. Did you travel anywhere this morning? You. Yes, I took a train to a nearby city. Friend. Where did you sit? You. I found a seat by the window. Friend. What did you do on the train? You. I listened to English stories on my phone. Friend. How did you feel when you arrived? You. I felt excited to explore the city. Practice your part aloud. Now let's do an expansion exercise. Repeat both the simple and the expanded version of each sentence. I took a train. I took an early train to visit a nearby city. I bought a ticket. I bought a ticket at the station and waited on the platform. I sat by the window. I sat by the window and looked at the scenery outside. You see how adding details gives your speech more life and clarity. Let's finish this part with a longer listening story for shadowing practice. Story. On Saturday afternoon, I went shopping at a big supermarket. First, I made a list of things I needed: bread, milk, eggs, and vegetables. At the supermarket, I pushed a trolley through the aisles, looking carefully at the prices. I chose some fresh apples, a bag of rice, and a bottle of olive oil. The store was busy, but the lines moved quickly. After paying at the checkout, I carried my bags home and put everything neatly in the kitchen. Questions. When did I go shopping? What things were on my list? What fresh fruit did I choose? What was the store like? What did I do after coming home? Answer aloud. The answers are: on Saturday afternoon, bread, milk, eggs, and vegetables. Apples, busy but quick lines. I put everything in the kitchen. Now shadow this story with me slowly. On Saturday afternoon, I went shopping at the supermarket. Made a list of bread, milk, eggs, and vegetables. I pushed a trolley and looked at the prices carefully. I chose fresh apples, rice, and olive oil. The store was busy, but the lines moved quickly. I paid at the checkout and carried my bags home. Perfect. Every day when you train your ears with English, you are building a strong habit. Listening, repeating, and practicing is like feeding your mind healthy food. The more you do it, the stronger and more confident you will become in speaking and understanding. Even the simplest stories, when repeated daily, make your English skills grow like a tree that gets taller and stronger each season. Let's start this part with a morning activity story. This morning, after waking up, I made myself a cup of coffee. I sat by the window and looked outside. The street was quiet, and only a few people were walking to work. I opened my notebook and wrote down 3 things I wanted to do today: drink more water, go for a walk, and finish reading my book. After writing, I felt focused and ready to begin my day. Now repeat after me. I made myself a cup of coffee this morning. I sat by the window and looked outside. I wrote 3 things I wanted to do today. I felt focused and ready to begin my day. Say them slowly. Now make your own examples. I made myself a cup of tea this morning. I sat in the garden and listened to the birds. I wrote a short message to a friend. I felt relaxed and happy to start my day. Now imagine a conversation. Friend, what did you do this morning? You. I made myself a cup of coffee and sat by the window. Friend. Did you plan anything for today? You. Yes, I wrote 3 things I wanted to do. Friend. How did you feel after that? You. I felt focused and ready to begin my day. Practice this dialogue with me. Now let's do a listening practice with another short story. Story. Last night I watched a short documentary online. It was about animals in Africa. I saw lions, elephants, and giraffes in their natural homes. The images were beautiful, and I learned many new things about their daily life. After watching, I felt inspired and curious to learn more. Questions. What did I watch last night? What animals did I see? What did I learn about? How did I feel after watching? Answer aloud. The answers are a documentary, lions, elephants, and giraffes, their daily life, inspired and curious. Now repeat useful sentences with me. I watched a short documentary last night. I saw lions, elephants, and giraffes. The images were beautiful. I felt inspired to learn more. Now create your own. I watched a movie last night. I saw actors playing different roles. The story was exciting. I felt happy after watching. Let's turn this into a small conversation. Friend, what did you watch last night? You. I watched a short documentary about animals. Friend, what animals did you see? You. I saw lions, Elephants and Giraffes. Friend, how was it? You. It was beautiful and inspiring. Practice this aloud. Now, let's do a shadowing exercise. Last night, I watched a documentary online. I saw lions, elephants, and giraffes. The images were beautiful, and I learned many new things. After watching, I felt inspired to learn more. Wonderful. Let's continue with another daily story. Yesterday afternoon, I went to a small bookstore near my home. The shelves were full of books on many topics: history, travel, cooking, and novels. I looked around slowly, reading the titles and touching the covers. Finally, I chose a novel that I had heard about from a friend. I bought the book, thanked the cashier, and walked home with a smile on my face. Questions. Where did I go yesterday afternoon? What kind of shop was it? What did I do there? What book did I choose? How did I feel after buying it? Answer aloud. The answers are: a bookstore. It was full of books on many topics. I looked around and read titles. I chose a novel my friend told me about. I felt happy after buying it. Now repeat sentences with me. I went to a bookstore near my home. I looked at many books on the shelves. I chose a novel that a friend recommended. I walked home with a smile on my face. Good. Now make your own sentences. I went to a clothing store near my home. I looked at many shirts and jackets. I chose one that my friend recommended. I walked home feeling satisfied. Now imagine this conversation. Friend, where did you go yesterday afternoon? You. I went to a bookstore near my home. Friend. What did you buy? You. I bought a novel that a friend recommended. Friend. How did you feel? You. I felt happy and excited to read it. Practice aloud. Now, let's do a longer listening story for deeper practice. Story. On Sunday morning, I decided to visit the park with my cousin. We packed a small picnic basket with sandwiches, fruit, and juice. When we arrived, we found a quiet spot under a tree. We ate slowly, talked about our week, and watched people walking by. Some children were playing football on the grass, and a few families were riding bicycles. After eating, we walked around the park for about an hour before going home. Questions. Who did I go with on Sunday morning? What did we pack in the basket? Where did we sit? What were the children doing? How long did we walk around? Answer aloud. The answers are: with my cousin, sandwiches, fruit, and juice, under a tree, playing football, for about an hour. Now repeat after me. I visited the park with my cousin. We packed a basket with sandwiches, fruit, and juice. We sat under a tree and talked about our week. Children were playing football on the grass. We walked around for about an hour. Now let's build a conversation. Friend, what did you do on Sunday morning? You. I went to the park with my cousin. Friend, what did you take with you? You. We packed a picnic with sandwiches, fruit, and juice. Friend, where did you sit? You. We sat under a tree. Friend, did you enjoy it? You. Yes, we talked, ate, and walked around for an hour. Practice saying your part aloud. Now shadow this story with me slowly. On Sunday morning, I went to the park with my cousin. We packed a basket with sandwiches, fruit, and juice. We sat under a tree and talked about our week. Children were playing football nearby. We walked around for about an hour before going home. Perfect. To end this part, let's do a reflection practice. I will ask you some open questions. Try to answer them aloud using the words you already know. What do you usually do on Sunday mornings? Do you like visiting bookstores, and what kind of books do you enjoy? What was the last documentary you watched? Do you sometimes write your daily plans in a notebook? Take time to answer aloud. This practice helps you build real speaking confidence because the answers come from your own life, not just from my stories. Every moment of your day can be a chance to practice English. When you describe your actions, your thoughts, or even what you see around you in English, you are making your brain more familiar with the language. The more familiar it feels, the easier it becomes to understand and to speak naturally. Let's start this part with a morning routine story. This morning, I woke up to the sound of rain tapping on my window. The sky was gray and the streets were wet. I made myself a cup of hot tea and sat at the table, listening to the sound of the rain outside. While drinking my tea, I read a few pages of my book. The calm sound of the rain made me feel peaceful and focused. Now repeat some useful sentences with me. I woke up to the sound of rain. The streets were wet this morning. I made myself a cup of hot tea. I read a few pages of my book. I felt peaceful and focused. Repeat slowly after me. Good. Now, let's make some variations. For example, I woke up to the sound of birds. The sky was clear and sunny. I made myself a cup of coffee. I read a few emails on my phone. I felt awake and ready to start the day. Let's imagine a dialogue from this story. Friend, how was your morning today? You. It was calm. I woke up to the sound of rain. Friend, what did you do first? You. I made myself a cup of hot tea. Friend, did you do anything while drinking your tea? You. Yes, I read a few pages of my book. Friend, how did you feel? You. Peaceful and focused. Practice this dialogue aloud with me. Now let's move to a listening exercise with another story. Story. Yesterday afternoon, I had to go to the supermarket. I made a shopping list before leaving: eggs, bread, milk, and some vegetables. At the supermarket, I pushed a trolley and walked slowly through the aisles. I compared prices, chose fresh tomatoes, and picked up a carton of milk. At the checkout, the cashier smiled and said, "Have a nice day." I thanked her, paid, and carried my bags home. Questions. What did I buy at the supermarket? What fresh item did I choose? What did the cashier say to me? What did I do after paying? Answer aloud. The answers are eggs, bread, milk, vegetables, fresh tomatoes. She said, "Have a nice day." I carried my bags home. Now repeat some useful sentences. I went to the supermarket yesterday afternoon. I made a shopping list before leaving. I compared prices and chose fresh tomatoes. The cashier said, "Have a nice day." I carried my bags home. Say them with me. Now create your own. I went to the market yesterday. I made a list before leaving. I bought fresh apples. The cashier said, "See you next time." I carried my bags back to my house. Let's turn this into a dialogue. Cashier. Hello. Did you find everything you needed? You. Yes, thank you. I found everything on my list. Cashier. Do you need a bag? You. No, I brought my own. Cashier. Great. Have a nice day. You. Thank you, you too. Practice aloud. Now let's do a shadowing practice with this supermarket story. I went to the supermarket yesterday afternoon. I made a shopping list before leaving. I compared prices and chose fresh tomatoes. The cashier said, "Have a nice day." I carried my bags home. Excellent. Let's continue with another daily story. Last weekend, I went to visit my grandmother. She lives in a small house with a beautiful garden. When I arrived, she was baking bread, and the smell filled the whole house. We sat in the garden, drank tea, and talked about family. She told me some stories from her childhood, and I listened carefully. Spending time with her always makes me feel loved and connected. Questions. Who did I visit last weekend? What was she doing when I arrived? Where did we sit? What did we talk about? How did I feel after visiting her? Answer aloud. The answers are: my grandmother. She was baking bread. We sat in tea, he garden. We talked about family and her childhood stories. I felt loved and connected. Now repeat some useful sentences with me. I visited my grandmother last weekend. She was baking bread when I arrived. We sat in the garden and drank tea. She told me stories from her childhood. I felt loved and connected. Good. Now change them. I visited my uncle last weekend. He was cooking dinner when I arrived. We sat in the living room and drank coffee. He told me stories from his travels. I felt happy and inspired. Dialogue practice. Grandmother, would you like some tea? You. Yes, please, that would be nice. Grandmother, I baked some fresh bread this morning. You. It smells wonderful. Can I try some? Grandmother, Of course. Tell me, how has your week been? You. It's been busy, but I'm glad to be here with you. Practice your part aloud. Now let's do another shadowing exercise. I visited my grandmother last weekend. She was baking bread when I arrived. We sat in the garden and drank tea. She told me stories from her childhood. I felt loved and connected. Wonderful. Now let's practice with a longer listening story. Story. On Saturday morning, I went to the city center to meet a friend. We decided to explore a new cafe that had just opened. The cafe had bright lights, comfortable chairs, and soft music playing. I ordered a cappuccino and my friend ordered a smoothie. We talked about our plans for the summer and laughed about old memories. After about an hour, we left the cafe and walked through the streets, looking at the shops. It was a simple but enjoyable morning. Questions. Where did I go on Saturday morning? What did I order at the cafe? What did my friend order? What did we talk about? What did we do after leaving the cafe? Answer aloud. The answers are to the city center to meet a friend, a cappuccino, a smoothie, our summer plans and old memories. We walked through the streets looking at shops. Now repeat useful sentences. I went to the city center to meet a friend. We explored a new cafe. I ordered a cappuccino. We talked about summer plans. We walked through the streets after leaving the cafe. Now try your own versions. I went to the town center to meet my cousin. We visited a small restaurant. I ordered tea. We talked about work and family. We walked through the market afterward. Let's turn this story into a dialogue. Friend. Where did you go on Saturday morning? You. I went to the city center to meet a friend. Friend. What did you do there? You. We went to a new cafe and ordered drinks. Friend. What did you talk about? You. We talked about summer plans and old memories. Friend. Did you enjoy it? You. Yes, it was simple but enjoyable. Practice aloud. Now shadow the story with me. On Saturday morning, I went to the city center to meet a friend. We explored a new cafe that had just opened. I ordered a cappuccino and my friend ordered a smoothie. We talked about summer plans and old memories. After about an hour, we walked through the streets and looked at shops. Excellent. To finish this part, let's do a reflection activity. I will ask you some open questions. Try to answer in full sentences aloud. What do you usually order when you go to a cafe? Do you enjoy listening to rain, or do you prefer sunny mornings? When was the last time you visited someone in your family? What do you usually buy when you go shopping at the supermarket? Take your time. By answering these questions in your own words, you are practicing real communication in English, which is the goal of this training. Every time you listen to English, you are giving your ears a workout. Just like your body needs exercise to stay healthy, your brain needs language practice to stay sharp. The more often you hear English, the faster you'll recognize words, the quicker you'll understand sentences, and the easier it will be to speak naturally. Let's begin this part with a short daily story. This morning, I took the bus to the library. The bus ride was short, only 10 minutes, and I found a seat by the window. Outside, I saw children walking to school with their backpacks. When I arrived at the library, I returned 2 books and borrowed another one. The librarian smiled and wished me a good day. Now let's repeat some sentences together. I took the bus to the library this morning. The bus ride was only 10 minutes. I saw children walking to school with their backpacks. I returned 2 books and borrowed another one. The librarian wished me a good day. Repeat slowly after me. Good. Now try your own variations. I took the bus to the supermarket. The ride was only 15 minutes. I saw people walking to work with their bags. I bought some groceries and carried them home. The cashier wished me a good day. Now let's imagine a conversation. Friend, where did you go this morning? You. I went to the library by bus. Friend. Was the ride long? You. No, it was only 10 minutes. Friend. What did you do at the library? You. I returned 2 books and borrowed another one. Friend. How was the librarian? You. She smiled and wished me a good day. Practice aloud with me. Now let's do another listening activity. Story. Yesterday evening, I met my cousin at a small cafe. We ordered tea and a slice of cake. While we were sitting, we talked about our plans for next month. My cousin wants to travel to another city, and I might join him. We laughed, shared stories, and stayed there for almost 2 hours. Questions. Where did I meet my cousin? What did we order? What did we talk about? What does my cousin want to do? How long did we stay there? Answer aloud. The answers are: at a small cafe, tea and cake, plans for next month. He wants to travel to another city. Almost 2 hours. Now repeat sentences with me. I met my cousin at a cafe yesterday evening. We ordered tea and cake. We talked about our plans for next month. He wants to travel to another city. We stayed there for almost 2 hours. Say them slowly. Now try your own. I met my friend at a restaurant yesterday evening. We ordered juice and pizza. We talked about our plans for the weekend. She wants to visit the park. We stayed there for 1 hour. Dialogue practice. Friend, did you meet anyone yesterday evening? You. Yes, I met my cousin at a cafe. Friend, what did you order? You. We ordered tea and cake. Friend, what did you talk about? You. We talked about our plans for next month. Friend, was it fun? You. Yes, we laughed and stayed there for almost 2 hours. Say your part aloud. Now let's shadow this story together. Yesterday evening, I met my cousin at a small cafe. We ordered tea and a slice of cake. We talked about our plans for next month. He wants to travel to another city. We laughed and stayed there for almost 2 hours. Excellent. Now, let's move to another daily story. This morning, I went to the park for a walk. The sun was shining and the air was fresh. I saw a woman walking her dog and 2 children riding bicycles. I listened to English audio while walking slowly along the path. After 30 minutes, I sat on a bench and drank some water. It was a simple but refreshing morning. Questions. Where did I go this morning? What was the weather like? What animals or people did I see? What did I listen to while walking? What did I do after 30 minutes? Answer all. Ode. The answers are: to the park, sunny and fresh, a woman with her dog and 2 children on bicycles. English audio. I sat on a bench and drank water. Now repeat useful sentences with me. I went to the park this morning. The sun was shining and the air was fresh. I saw a woman walking her dog. I listened to English audio while walking. I sat on a bench and drank water. Now make your own. I went to the beach this morning. The sun was bright and the air was cool. I saw people jogging and swimming. I listened to music while walking. I sat on the sand and drank juice. Now let's create a dialogue. Friend, did you go outside this morning? You. Yes, I went to the park for a walk. Friend, how was the weather? You. It was sunny and fresh. Friend, did you see anyone there? You. Yes, I saw a woman walking her dog and 2 children on bicycles. Friend, what did you do there? You. I walked, listened to English, and later sat on a bench to drink water. Practice aloud. Now let's do a shadowing exercise with this story. This morning I went to the park for a walk. The sun was shining and the air was fresh. I saw a woman walking her dog. I listened to English audio while walking. After 30 minutes, I sat on a bench and drank water. Perfect. Now let's end this part with a longer weekend story. Story. On Sunday afternoon, I went to the shopping mall with a friend. The mall was large, with many shops, bright lights, and people everywhere. We looked at clothes in a few stores, but we didn't buy anything at first. Later, we stopped at a bookstore inside the mall. I bought a notebook and a pen, and my friend bought a novel. After shopping, we had lunch in the food court and enjoyed some rice with chicken and vegetables. Before leaving, we sat on a bench and talked about our week. It was a long but enjoyable afternoon. Questions. Where did I go on Sunday afternoon? What did I and my friend do first? What did I buy at the bookstore? What did we eat for lunch? What did we do before leaving the mall? Answer aloud. The answers are: to the shopping mall, looked at clothes, a notebook and a pen, rice with chicken and vegetables. We sat on a bench and talked. Now repeat sentences with me. I went to the shopping mall with a friend. We looked at clothes but didn't buy anything at first. I bought a notebook and a pen at the bookstore. We had rice with chicken and vegetables for lunch. We sat on a bench and talked about our week. Now create your own. I went to the market with my cousin. We looked at shoes but didn't buy any. I bought some fruit and a bottle of water. We had sandwiches for lunch. We sat under a tree and talked about our day. Now a dialogue. Friend. Where did you go on Sunday afternoon? You. I went to the shopping mall with a friend. Friend. What did you buy there? You. I bought a notebook and a pen. Friend. Did you eat at the mall? You. Yes, we had rice with chicken and vegetables. Friend. How was your afternoon? You. It was long but enjoyable. Now shadow this longer story. On Sunday afternoon, I went to the shopping mall with a friend. We looked at clothes in some shops but didn't buy anything at first. I bought a notebook and a pen at the bookstore. We had rice with chicken and vegetables for lunch. Before leaving, we sat on a bench and talked about our week. Excellent. You are training your listening, repeating, and speaking step by step. The best way to boost your English is to live inside the language, even in small ways. Every story you hear, every sentence you repeat, and every dialogue you imagine is like one more brick in the house of your fluency. Day by day, the house becomes stronger, taller, and more comfortable to live in. Let's start with a short daily story. Yesterday morning, I walked to a small cafe near my office. The cafe was quiet, with soft music playing in the background. I ordered a cup of cappuccino and a small sandwich. While waiting, I opened my notebook and wrote down a few ideas for the day. When my food arrived, I ate slowly, enjoying the taste, and listened to the sounds of people talking softly around me. Now repeat some useful sentences with me. I walked to a cafe near my office. I ordered a cappuccino and a sandwich. I wrote down a few ideas in my notebook. I ate slowly and enjoyed the taste. I listened to the sounds of people talking. Repeat slowly after me. Good. Now make your own versions. I walked to a restaurant near my school. I ordered tea and a piece of cake. I wrote down some notes for my class. I ate slowly and enjoyed the food. I listened to music playing in the background. Now let's create a dialogue. Friend, did you go anywhere yesterday morning? You. Yes, I went to a cafe near my office. Friend, what did you order? You. I ordered a cappuccino and a sandwich. Friend, what did you do while waiting? You. I wrote down some ideas in my notebook. Friend, how was the cafe? You. It was quiet, and I enjoyed my time there. Practice aloud with me. Now let's move on to a listening story. Story. On Thursday afternoon, I had a meeting with my team at work. We gathered in a small meeting room with a big table and chairs around it. The manager started the meeting and asked everyone to share their updates. I spoke about the project I was working on and explained the progress we had made. Other team members also shared their updates, and we made a plan for the next week. The meeting lasted about 1 hour, and at the end, everyone felt clear about their tasks. Questions. When did I have the meeting? Where did the team gather? What did I speak about? What did the other team members do? How long did the meeting last? Answer aloud. The answers are: on Thursday afternoon, in a meeting room with a big table, I spoke about my project and progress. They shared their updates too, about 1 hour. Now repeat useful sentences. I had a meeting with my team on Thursday afternoon. We gathered in a small meeting room. I spoke about my project and progress. We made a plan for the next week. The meeting lasted about 1 hour. Say them with me. Now create your own. I had a class with my teacher on Thursday afternoon. We gathered in a classroom with desks. I spoke about my homework. Other students also shared their answers. The class lasted 1 hour. Now let's make a dialogue. Colleague. When was your team meeting? You. It was on Thursday afternoon. Colleague. Where did you have it? You. In a small meeting room with a big table. Colleague. What did you talk about? You. I explained the progress of my project. Colleague. Did the meeting take long? You. It lasted about 1 hour. Practice aloud. Now let's shadow this story together. On Thursday afternoon, I had a meeting with my team. We gathered in a small meeting room. I spoke about the progress of my project. Other members also shared their updates. We made a plan for the next week. The meeting lasted about 1 hour. Excellent. Let's continue with another daily life story. Last night I cooked dinner at home. I made rice with vegetables and chicken. While cooking, I listened to some English audio lessons on my phone. The food smelled delicious as it cooked. When the meal was ready, I sat at the table and ate slowly, enjoying each bite. After dinner, I washed the dishes and relaxed on the sofa for a while. Questions. What did I cook for dinner? What did I listen to while cooking? How did the food smell? What did I do after eating? Answer aloud. The answers are: rice with vegetables and chicken, English audio lessons, delicious. I washed the dishes and relaxed on the sofa. Now repeat sentences with me. I cooked rice with vegetables and chicken. I listened to English while cooking. The food smelled delicious. I ate slowly and enjoyed each bite. I washed the dishes after dinner. Good. Now make your own. I cooked pasta with tomato sauce. I listened to music while cooking. The food smelled amazing. I ate slowly and enjoyed the meal. I cleaned the kitchen after dinner. Now imagine this dialogue. Friend, what did you eat for dinner last night? You. I made rice with vegetables and chicken. Friend, did you listen to anything while cooking? You. Yes, I listened to some English lessons on my phone. Friend, how was the food? You. It smelled delicious and tasted great. Friend, what did you do after eating? You. I washed the dishes and relaxed on the sofa. Practice aloud with me. Now let's shadow this short story. Last night, I cooked dinner at home. I made rice with vegetables and chicken. While cooking, I listened to English audio lessons. The food smelled delicious as it cooked. After eating, I washed the dishes and relaxed. Wonderful. Now let's finish this part with a longer weekend story. Story. On Saturday afternoon, I went to the park with 2 friends. We decided to rent bicycles and ride around the paths. The weather was sunny and many people were outside enjoying the day. We rode slowly, stopping sometimes to take photos of the trees and flowers. After riding for about 40 minutes, we stopped at a small cafe near the park. We ordered cold drinks and sat outside, talking and laughing together. Later, we walked back through the park, watching children playing football and families having picnics. It was a relaxing and fun afternoon. Questions. Where did I go on Saturday afternoon? What did we rent at the park? What was the weather like? What did we do after riding bicycles? What did we see in the park later? Answer aloud. The answers are to the park, bicycles, sunny. We stopped at a cafe for drinks, children playing football and families having picnics. Now repeat useful sentences. I went to the park with 2 friends on Saturday. We rented bicycles and rode around the paths. The weather was sunny and nice. We stopped at a cafe for cold drinks. We saw children playing and families having picnics. Now try your own. I went to the beach with 2 friends on Saturday. We rented chairs and sat near the water. The weather was warm and windy. We stopped at a food stall for snacks. We saw children playing and families swimming. Dialogue practice. Friend, what did you do on Saturday afternoon? You. I went to the park with 2 friends. Friend, what did you do there? You. We rented bicycles and rode around the paths. Friend, how was the weather? You. It was sunny and beautiful. Friend, did you do anything after riding? You. Yes, we stopped at a cafe for cold drinks and later walked through the park. Practice aloud with me. Now let's shadow this longer story. On Saturday afternoon, I went to the park with friends. We rented bicycles and rode around the paths. The weather was sunny and many people were outside. After 40 minutes, we stopped at a cafe for cold drinks. Later, we walked back through the park, watching children play and families have picnics. Perfect. You are training both your ears and your voice with every stee. Ori, every new story you hear in English is like a small seed planted in your memory. The more often you water those seeds with practice, the more they grow into strong knowledge. This is why we repeat, listen, and speak slowly together. The rhythm of daily English will become part of your thoughts and conversations if you let it flow naturally every day. Let's begin with a short story about a simple activity. Yesterday morning, I went to a small fruit shop near my house. The shop was bright, and colorful fruits filled the baskets. I picked up some bananas, apples, and oranges. The shopkeeper weighed the fruits, put them in a bag, and told me the price. I paid with cash and carried the bag home. The fruit smelled fresh, and I felt happy knowing I had healthy food for the week. Now repeat some useful sentences after me. I went to a fruit shop near my house. I bought bananas, apples, and oranges. The shopkeeper weighed the fruits and gave me a bag. I paid with cash and carried the bag home. The fruit smelled fresh and delicious. Repeat slowly. Good. Now make your own variations. I went to the vegetable shop near my house. I bought potatoes, carrots, and onions. The shopkeeper weighed the vegetables and gave me a bag. I paid with coins and walked home. The vegetables looked fresh and clean. Now, let's turn this into a short dialogue. Shopkeeper. Hello, what would you like today? You. Hello, I'd like some bananas, apples, and oranges, please. Shopkeeper. Of course. Here is your bag. That will be $4. You. Here you go. Thank you very much. Shopkeeper. You're welcome. Have a nice day. You. Thank you. You too. Practice your part aloud. Now, let's do a listening activity with another short story. Story. On Tuesday evening, I visited a friend at her apartment. She cooked dinner for us, pasta with tomato sauce and salad. We ate together in her kitchen and talked about work and family. After dinner, we watched a short comedy show on TV. We laughed a lot and felt relaxed. I left her apartment around 10 o'clock and walked home under the street lights. Questions. When did I visit my friend? What did she cook for us? Where did we eat? What did we watch after dinner? How did we feel while watching? Answer aloud. The answers are: on Tuesday evening, pasta with tomato sauce and salad. In her kitchen, a comedy show. We laughed a lot and felt relaxed. Now repeat these sentences after me. I visited my friend on Tuesday evening. She cooked pasta with tomato sauce and salad. We ate in her kitchen and talked about family. We watched a comedy show after dinner. We laughed and felt relaxed. Good. Now create your own sentences. I visited my cousin on Wednesday evening. He cooked rice with chicken and vegetables. We ate in the living room and talked about school. We watched a movie after dinner. We felt happy and entertained. Now imagine a short dialogue. Friend, did you visit anyone this week? You. Yes, I visited a friend on Tuesday evening. Friend, what did you eat? You. She cooked pasta with tomato sauce and salad. Friend, did you do anything after dinner? You. Yes, we watched a comedy show on TV. Friend, was it fun? You. Yes, we laughed a lot and felt relaxed. Practice aloud. Now, let's shadow this story slowly. On Tuesday evening, I visited a friend. She cooked pasta with tomato sauce and salad. We ate in her kitchen and talked about family. After dinner, we watched a comedy show. We laughed and felt relaxed. Excellent. Let's continue with another everyday story. This morning, I cleaned my living room. First, I opened the windows to let in fresh air. Then I dusted the shelves and wiped the table. I vacuumed the floor and arranged the pillows on the sofa. While cleaning, I played some soft English music in the background. After finishing, I sat down with a glass of water and felt proud of my clean room. Questions. What did I clean this morning? What did I do first? What did I play while cleaning? What did I do after finishing? How did I feel? Answer aloud. The answers are: my living room, opened the windows, soft English music, sat down with a glass of water, proud of my clean room. Now repeat useful sentences with me. I cleaned my living room this morning. I opened the windows to let in fresh air. I vacuumed the floor and arranged the pillows. I played English music while cleaning. I felt proud of my clean room. Now try your own versions. I cleaned my kitchen this morning. I washed the dishes and cleaned the stove. I listened to a podcast while cleaning. After finishing, I made some tea. I felt satisfied with my clean kitchen. Now, let's imagine a dialogue. Friend, what did you do this morning? You. I cleaned my living room. Friend, what did you do first? You. I opened the windows and dusted the shelves. Friend, did you listen to anything while cleaning? You. Yes, I played some soft English music. Friend, how did you feel after cleaning? You. I felt proud of my clean room. Practice aloud with me. Now, let's do a longer listening story for deeper practice. Story. Last Sunday, I took a trip to the countryside with my family. We left the city early in the morning and drove for about 2 hours. The road was quiet, and we saw green fields, trees, and mountains in the distance. When we arrived, we walked along a small river and took many photos. For lunch, we had a picnic with sandwiches, fruit, and juice. After lunch, we rested under a tree and enjoyed the fresh air. In the evening, we returned home, feeling tired but happy from the trip. Questions. Where did I go last Sunday? How long did the drive take? What did we see on the road? What did we do when we arrived? What did we eat for lunch? How did we feel at the end of the trip? Answer aloud. The answers are to the countryside, about 2 hours, fields, trees, and mountains, walked along a river and took photos, sandwiches, fruit, and juice, tired but happy. Now repeat useful sentences. I took a trip to the countryside with my family. We drove for about 2 hours. We saw green fields and mountains. We had a picnic with sandwiches and juice. We returned home tired but happy. Now create your own. I took a trip to the beach with my family. We drove for 1 hour. We saw blue water and white sand. We had lunch with fish and rice. We returned home relaxed and happy. Now imagine a dialogue from this story. Friend, did you go anywhere last Sunday? You. Yes, I went to the countryside with my family. Friend. How long was the drive? You. It took about 2 hours. Friend. What did you do there? You. We walked by a river and had a picnic. Friend. What did you eat? You. Sandwiches, fruit, and juice. Friend. How did you feel after the trip? You. Tired but happy. Practice aloud. Now let's shadow this countryside story slowly. Last Sunday, I took a trip to the countryside with my family. We drove for about 2 hours. On the way, we saw green fields and mountains. We walked along a river and took photos. We had a picnic with sandwiches and fruit. In the evening, we returned home tired but happy. Beautiful. To finish this part, let's do a reflection practice. Answer aloud in your own words. When was the last time you visited the countryside or the beach? What kind of food do you usually buy at a fruit shop? Do you often visit friends and eat together at their homes? How do you usually feel after cleaning your home? These questions help you connect English to your real life. The more you answer with your own experiences, the more natural your English will become. Every single practice you do is like adding one more stone to the bridge of your English. Step by step, the bridge gets longer and stronger, and one day it carries you easily to fluency. That's why we keep training with real stories, simple sentences, and small conversations. It's not about speed, it's about consistency. Let's begin with a short daily life story. This morning, I woke up earlier than usual. The sky was still a little dark, but I decided to make a cup of tea and sit quietly at the table. I opened my notebook and wrote about my dreams from the night before. They were strange but interesting, and writing them down made me feel thoughtful. After that, I stretched my body and listened to some soft English audio to wake up my mind. Now repeat some useful sentences after me. I woke up earlier than usual this morning. I made a cup of tea and sat at the table. I wrote about my dreams in my notebook. The dreams were strange but interesting. I stretched and listened to English audio. Repeat slowly. Now make your own examples. I woke up later than usual this morning. I made coffee and sat in the living room. I wrote about my plans in my notebook. The plans were exciting and useful. I stretched and listened to music to start my day. Now, let's imagine a short dialogue from this story. Friend, did you wake up early today? You. Yes, I woke up earlier than usual. Friend, what did you do first? You. I made a cup of tea and sat at the table. Friend, did you write anything this morning? You. Yes, I wrote about my dreams in my notebook. Friend, how did you feel? You. I felt thoughtful and calm. Practice aloud with me. Now let's move on to another listening story. Yesterday afternoon, I had to go to the bank. I needed to deposit some money into my account. The bank was quiet, and I waited in line for a few minutes. When it was my turn, I spoke politely to the clerk and gave her the money and my account number. She typed quickly on the computer, gave me a receipt, and said, "Everything is done." I thanked her and left the bank feeling relieved. Questions. Where did I go yesterday afternoon? Why did I go there? What did I do while waiting? What did the clerk give me? How did I feel after leaving? Answer aloud. The answers are: to the bank, to deposit money, waited in line, a receipt, relieved. Now repeat useful sentences. I went to the bank yesterday afternoon. I deposited money into my account. I waited in line for a few minutes. The clerk gave me a receipt. I felt relieved after leaving the bank. Now try your own. I went to the post office yesterday afternoon. I sent a package to my cousin. I waited in line for 10 minutes. The clerk gave me a receipt. I felt satisfied after leaving the post office. Let's create a short dialogue. Clerk. Hello, how can I help you today? You. Hello, I'd like to deposit some money into my account. Clerk. Of course. Please write down your account number. You. Here it is. Thank you. Clerk. Everything is done. Here is your receipt. You. Thank you very much. Practice aloud with me. Now let's shadow this bank story together. Yesterday afternoon, I went to the bank. I needed to deposit money into my account. I waited in line for a few minutes. The clerk gave me a receipt. I left the bank feeling relieved. Excellent. Let's continue with another daily story. Last weekend, I went to a small park with my younger brother. We played badminton together on the grass. At first, it was a little difficult because the wind was strong, but we laughed a lot while trying to hit T. He shuttlecock. After playing for about half an hour, we sat on a bench, drank some juice, and watched other people playing nearby. The afternoon was simple but full of joy. Questions. Who did I go to the park with? What did we play? What made it difficult at first? What did we do after playing? How was the afternoon? Answer aloud. The answers are, with my younger brother, badminton. The wind was strong. We sat on a bench, drank juice, and watched others. Simple but joyful. Now repeat some useful sentences. I went to the park with my younger brother. We played badminton on the grass. The wind made it difficult at first. We laughed while playing. We sat on a bench and drank juice afterward. Good. Now create your own. I went to the beach with my cousin. We played volleyball on the sand. The sun made it difficult at first. We laughed while trying to play. We sat under a tree and drank water afterward. Now let's imagine a short dialogue. Friend, did you do anything last weekend? You. Yes, I went to the park with my younger brother. Friend, what did you do there? You. We played badminton together. Friend, how was the game? You. It was fun, but the wind made it difficult. Friend, did you enjoy the afternoon? You. Yes, it was simple but joyful. Practice aloud with me. Now, let's do another listening story. Story. On Wednesday morning, I missed the bus to work. I arrived at the stop just 1 minute too late. At first, I felt a little frustrated, but then I decided to walk instead. The walk took about 20 minutes, but I listened to English audio while walking. The fresh air and exercise made me feel better. By the time I arrived at the office, my mood had improved and I was ready for the day. Questions. What happened on Wednesday morning? How did I feel at first? What did I decide to do instead? What did I listen to while walking? How did I feel when I arrived at the office? Answer aloud. The answers are: I missed the bus. Frustrated. I walked instead. English audio. Better and ready for the day. Now repeat useful sentences. I missed the bus on Wednesday morning. I felt frustrated at first. I decided to walk instead. I listened to English audio while walking. I arrived at the office feeling ready for the day. Now create your own. I missed the train yesterday morning. I felt worried at first. I decided to take a taxi instead. I listened to music during the ride. I arrived at school feeling calm. Dialogue practice. Colleague. Why were you late this morning? You. I missed the bus by 1 minute. Colleague. Oh no. What did you do then? You. I decided to walk instead. Colleague. Did you listen to anything on the way? You. Yes, I listened to English audio. Colleague. How did you feel when you arrived? You. I felt much better and ready to work. Practice aloud with me. Now, let's finish this part with a longer weekend story for shadowing and practice. Story. On Saturday morning, I met two friends at the train station. We planned to visit a nearby town that is famous for its market. The train ride took about 40 minutes, and we talked the whole way, laughing and sharing stories. When we arrived, the streets were busy with people selling clothes, food, and handmade crafts. We walked through the market, tried some local snacks, and bought small souvenirs. For lunch, we ate at a small restaurant that served traditional dishes. In the afternoon, we walked by the river and took many photos together. In the evening, we took the train back home, feeling tired but happy after a long day. Questions. Where did I go on Saturday morning? How long was the train ride? What did we see at the market? What did we eat for lunch? What did we do by the river? How did we feel at the end of the day? Answer aloud. The answers are: to a nearby town, 40 minutes, clothes, food, handmade crafts, traditional dishes, walked and took photos, tired but happy. Now repeat useful sentences. I visited a nearby town with friends on Saturday. The train ride took 40 minutes. We walked through a busy market. We ate traditional dishes for lunch. We walked by the river and took photos. Now create your own. I visited a beach town with friends on Saturday. The bus ride took 1 hour. We walked through the market by the sea. We ate seafood for lunch. We walked on the beach and took photos. Now imagine a short dialogue. Friend. Where did you go on Saturday? You. I went to a nearby town with friends. Friend. How did you get there? You. We took the train, about 40 minutes. Friend. What did you do there? You. We walked through the market, ate lunch, and later walked by the river. Friend. How was the day? You. It was long, but we were happy and relaxed. Now, shadow this longer story with me slowly. On Saturday morning, I met two friends at the station. We took the train to a nearby town, about 40 minutes away. The market was busy with clothes, food, and crafts. We tried snacks and bought small souvenirs. For lunch, we ate traditional dishes. Later, we walked by the river and took photos. In the evening, we returned home tired but happy. Excellent work. Every time you shadow like this, your English muscles get stronger. Every time you practice, even for a few minutes, you are building stronger English. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Small steps taken every day will lead you further than one big step taken only once. That's why you should treat English like a friend you meet daily. Oh, the more you spend time together, the closer and more comfortable you will feel. Let's begin with a short daily story. This morning, I went to the bakery again. The smell of fresh bread made me smile as I entered. I bought a loaf of bread and 2 small pastries. The cashier asked, "Would you like a bag?" And I said, Yes, please. I carried the warm bread home and had it with butter and jam for breakfast. It tasted wonderful. Now repeat after me. I went to the bakery this morning. I bought a loaf of bread and 2 pastries. The cashier asked if I wanted a bag. I had the bread with butter and jam. It tasted wonderful. Say them slowly. Now try your own examples. I went to the cafe this morning. I bought a sandwich and a cup of coffee. The cashier asked if I wanted sugar. I had the coffee with milk. It tasted good. Now let's imagine a short dialogue. Cashier: Good morning. What would you like today? You: Good morning. I'd like a loaf of bread and 2 pastries, please. Cashier: Would you like a bag? You: Yes, please, thank you. Cashier: That will be $3. You: Here you go. Thank you very much. Practice aloud with me. Now let's move on to a listening story. Story. Yesterday afternoon, I visited the park with my cousin. We walked slowly along the path, talking about our week. After a while, we stopped at a small ice cream stand and bought 2 cones. I chose chocolate and she chose vanilla. We sat on a bench, ate the ice cream, and watched children playing nearby. It was a sweet and relaxing afternoon. Questions. Who did I visit the park with? What did we buy? What flavors did we choose? Where did we sit? What did we watch? Answer aloud. The answers are: with my cousin, 2 ice cream cones, chocolate and vanilla, on a bench, children playing. Now repeat some sentences with me. I visited the park with my cousin yesterday afternoon. We bought 2 ice cream cones. I chose chocolate and she chose vanilla. We sat on a bench and ate our ice cream. It was a sweet and relaxing afternoon. Now try your own. I visited the beach with my brother yesterday afternoon. We bought 2 cold drinks. I chose orange and he chose apple. We sat on the sand and drank together. It was a fun and refreshing afternoon. Now a short dialogue. Friend: Did you go anywhere yesterday afternoon? You: Yes, I went to the park with my cousin. Friend: Did you buy anything there? You: Yes, we bought 2 ice cream cones. Friend: What flavor did you choose? You: I chose chocolate and she chose vanilla. Friend: How was it? You: It was sweet and relaxing. Practice aloud with me. Now let's shadow this story. Yesterday afternoon, I went to the park with my cousin. We bought 2 ice cream cones. I chose chocolate and she chose vanilla. We sat on a bench and ate slowly. It was a sweet and relaxing afternoon. Perfect. Now let's continue with another short story. Last night, I watched the stars in the sky. The night was clear, and the stars shone brightly above my house. I stood on my balcony for a while, enjoying the cool air and the quiet. I tried to count the stars, but there were too many. Looking at the sky made me feel calm and small, but also connected to the world. Questions. What did I watch last night? Where was I standing? What did I try to do? How did I feel while looking at the stars? Answer aloud. The answers are the stars on my balcony. Tried to count them. Calm, small, but connected. Now repeat after me. I watched the stars last night. I stood on my balcony and looked at the sky. I tried to count the stars, but there were too many. I felt calm and connected to the world. Now make your own. I watched the moon last night. I stood in the garden and looked up. I tried to take a photo of it. I felt peaceful and happy. Now let's create a dialogue. Friend, what did you do last night? You. I watched the stars from my balcony. Friend, were there many stars? You. Yes, there were too many to count. Friend, how did you feel? You. I felt calm and connected to the world. Practice aloud. Now, let's do a longer weekend story for final practice. Story. On Sunday morning, I joined a small group hike in the hills. We started early, carrying small backpacks with water and snacks. The path was steep, but we encouraged each other as we climbed. Along the way, we saw flowers, birds, and even a small waterfall. When we reached the top, we rested on the rocks and enjoyed the beautiful view of the valley below. We shared our snacks, drank water, and took photos together. After resting, we walked down slowly, talking and laughing. By the time I returned home, I was tired but full of joy from the experience. Questions. What did I do on Sunday morning? What did we carry with us? What did we see on the way? What did we do at the top? How did I feel after coming home? Answer aloud. The answers are: I joined a hike, backpacks with water and snacks, flowers, birds, a waterfall, rested, enjoyed the view, ate and took photos, tired but full of joy. Now repeat useful sentences with me. I joined a hike in the hills on Sunday morning. I carried a backpack with water and snacks. I saw flowers, birds, and a waterfall on the way. At the top, we rested and enjoyed the view. I returned home tired but happy. Now try your own. I joined a walk by the sea on Sunday morning. I carried a bottle of water and some fruit. I saw seashells, boats, and fishermen on the way. At the end, we rested and looked at the ocean. I returned home relaxed and happy. Now imagine a dialogue. Friend, what did you do on Sunday morning? You. I joined a small group hike in the hills. Friend, what did you carry with you? You. I had a backpack with water and snacks. Friend, what did you see on the way? You. We saw flowers, birds, and even a waterfall. Friend, what did you do at the top? You. We rested, ate snacks and took photos together. Friend, how did you feel afterward? You, tired but full of joy. Practice aloud with me. Now shadow this longer story slowly. On Sunday morning, I joined a group hike in the hills. I carried a backpack with water and snacks. The path was steep, but we encouraged each other. We saw flowers, birds, and a small waterfall. At the top, we rested and enjoyed the view. Later, we returned home tired but joyful. Excellent. To close today's practice, let's do a reflection exercise. Answer these questions aloud with your own thoughts. What do you usually eat for breakfast? Do you enjoy walking in parks, or do you prefer staying indoors? When was the last time you looked at the night sky? Do you like to go hiking or walking in nature? Take your time. Speak slowly. These answers don't need to be perfect. They only need to be real and in English. And now, it's time to end this long practice together. You've spent a lot of time listening, repeating, and imagining real conversations. You should feel proud of yourself for practicing consistently. Remember, English grows when you use it every day, even with simple stories and small sentences. The key is not to stop. Thank you for spending this time with me. Keep practicing every morning, and you will see your progress step by step. If you enjoyed this lesson, make sure to keep joining me for more practice. And don't forget, the more you practice, the more natural and confident your English will become. See you next time.